All right, welcome to Make a Path Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes. I got a lot of requests to just talk about this. I mentioned on Discord and then on social media that I did watch part one of Fear Street, 1994. It is, and this is something I do like, the fact that it is a trilogy movie event where they're going to drop 3 movies in 1 month, and it is one continuing story, but it takes place in different time periods. Now, one thing I don't care about is ghosts and witches and shit like that. Now, mostly supernatural. I like killers and my horror stuff to be more grounded than supernatural, but there's a way to do it and make it work. However, for the most part, I like it a little more grounded. That's just a personal preference. So for me, I think it's a neat idea, jumping between time periods. I don't think I'm going to have any interest in the part 3, 1666. Now, just because the time period and it deals with witches, I don't really care about. Part 2 is the one I'm more excited about because it deals with, it's like a Friday the 13th ripoff, to be honest. And I could say ripoff with certainty because part 1, and this is something that triggered me a little bit, I see a lot of comments where people are like, yeah, it gave me Scream vibes. And it's because they just ripped off a few scenes from Scream. And we're not talking about paying homage. We're talking about straight ripping it off. And they ripped off The Village. They ripped off Myers, you can say. Halloween, they paid a little bit of homage with the babysitter there. But let's back it up some. With part 1, it just wasn't for me. It wasn't as grounded. It wasn't as scary. It deals with witches, not like real killers. So I wasn't gripped. It was a bit cheesy. They do focus on, because it is 2021 and representation and having gay characters and gay leads is, sorry, but it's something that the entertainment industry is overdosing on. And obviously, you see it coming a mile away. The girl writes this name Sam down, and she's breaking up, and they're focusing on this guy, and it's the girl next to the guy. So, but I think they because they want to focus on the sexuality of it, there's this aspect where they make it seem a little more deeper than it really is, as far as like two people in high school falling in love and dating, or talk about their future and their lives and all that. And it's like, bro, calm the fuck down. You'll probably break up in a month and never even remember each other. Let's chill. So some of that gets a little bit over the top and you overdose on it. However, if you are interested in it might make you actually go and watch the other movies it's ripping off, but if you are interested in something that's new and a popcorn flick for horror fans, you might like this. It's based on the book series. If you read the books, I read some of the books when I was little, but even then I didn't read them a lot because they felt like children's books, and I was looking into something that was a little more darker and grittier. So go ahead and watch it. I'm going to leave a straw poll. Damn it, I keep punching this thing. I need to do something else with it. I'm going to leave a straw poll in the pinned comment and in the video description. Go and vote what you thought about this movie. If you haven't seen it, go ahead and watch it. You got 3 potential movies to watch this month coming out. And one small little critique before we get into some spoilers here. Do you guys mind if something takes place in a certain period and they use music and references from stuff that took place later? Like, this is 1994, but we get music from the Fugees from 96. Garbage, Only Happy When It Rains. That's badass. Shirley Manson was fire back in the day. This was 95. You got, That Checks Out. That's 88. This is 96. I had a whole bunch we were going to, just as a joke, to cross-reference, but I don't want to take the time to do it. But for me, if it's a little bit lazy, but if you're going to just copy horror scenes, yeah, it's a bit lazy. Anyway, so let's dive into this. I'm hoping the trilogy, and this is where we're going to get into spoilers now, I'm hoping the trilogy isn't as predictable as it seems, because the way it ends, I did like how it ends, where it was a bit of a fake out, but it felt like a big plot hole. Let's skim through this just real quick to do a recap. Here's the one where the girl from Stranger Things, I think her name was Robin in Stranger Things, right? She's working, and this is where they do the Scream rip-off moment where she's working in a mall. She goes to run away. Yeah. And then they get to this credit sequence. Wait. Let's go forward a bit.
Killer capital U.S.
Yeah, yeah. It's the music and all. It doesn't matter. Anyhow, I found that to be beyond paying homage and just absolutely lazy. So you find the girl, her brother, her younger brother. I thought he was like young. So when he bangs her friend, I for a minute there I was kind of like, isn't he like younger? But I guess he's just younger by a year, and that's fine. That works. But it just I don't know what about the movie gave me that idea. Anyway, so they go for a memorial, and part of this, I like the idea. One thing, actually, I'll give them credit. One thing I do like, it's not subtle at all, because it's two neighborhoods. One is kind of privileged, and one is poor. So you got the poor neighborhood and the privileged neighborhood. The poor neighborhood is called Shadyville, something like that, Shady Side, and the privileged neighborhood is called Sunnyvale. Sunnyvale. I kept calling it Sunnyville. It just seems like it makes sense, but it's Sunnyvale. And they do a cool shot though, where they show the poor neighborhood, Shady. Oh my God, what is it called? Is it Shadyville? Shadyville and Sunnyvale, something like that. Anyway, they're going through, and you see like. Actually, it looks like my whole hometown when I was growing up. You get closed businesses where you have an open business, closed, open. You see a lot of old homes, a lot of yards that aren't really taken care of. But then when you get to pull into Shadyville, you get this rich. They change the music up. It's old, fancy, yada yada yada. That's really relatable. I can absolutely relate to that, and I like the way they did it. I think the names could be one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, it wasn't subtle. It's a jackhammer in your face, but it's still playful, right? Even though it's not subtle. Maybe they were just going for more playful. So they go to this memorial where somebody went crazy and killed people at a mall. They get into a fight. And then when they were leaving the fight, they have this moment where a car comes up to the bus, two different groups from the neighborhood. And the bus is like, nah, screw this. We're going to throw water. The lead girl. Here's one of the first things that was a big red flag. First off, I hope they do something with this bloody nose. I understand why Sam gets a bloody nose, because she disturbs the witch's grave. She gets a bloody nose, yada, yada, yada. But I hope they do something with this bloody nose, because it comes out of nowhere. I don't know. You guys, let me know down below if this is going to connect in somehow or what the point is here. But I don't know why she got a bloody nose when Sam gets it for disturbing the grave. Anyhow. Here's where I knew the red flag is in for the shitty aspects to writing that interferes with good writing. When you focus heavily on representation, there's oftentimes they hit roadblocks where it's like, yes, we want this specific checkbox character here, but we can't have the character do something that's really bad. So instead of having the character just have a moment where she loses her shit and chucks this water thing, Gatorade tub, whatever it's called, cooler, instead of having her have that moment where it's a flawed moment. I mean, she has the thought, she goes to do it, but then she gets a bloody nose and it's like, oh shit, your nose, and she accidentally drops it. I hate when writers do that shit, because you can absolutely tell the fix is in. They want representation, but they don't want an authentic character. They want to make sure they eliminate as many flaws as absolutely possible. And that's where you get a stiff, stale, and less interesting character. And they need to just knock it off. If you're going to put in the representation, put in an authentic character. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't care what your makeup is or the tone of your skin color. You're going to do good and bad things both. And you're going to have things you regret. So little moments like this, for me, is a red flag. Because it's trying to take away from a flaw from that character. But she causes this car accident. And this is where it disrupts the witch's grave. They show up. They keep showing this tree. It's the same tree as... let's go over here. I've noticed it's the same tree. This is confirming it's 1994 for anyone who had any questions about it. This is the Jason Voorhees-like character that's going to be in the sequel. We have the witch, but I probably should put this up there, actually, if I had Jason-like character. But we have this tree that is in the witch's flashback when Sam messes with the bones. And this is the same tree that is shown in the 78. That's part 2 during the camp stuff. I'm assuming this tree is where they have the camp at. And then we see the tree earlier in part 1 at the mall killing, and it's in the mall. Some of those aspects I do really like. That world building is something that I actually really do enjoy, and I hope we get to it. We'll get to some of the plot holes because so they had that car accident, and then the next day she's babysitting near her friend's house, and the skull killer is lurking around. So they go to the hospital to tell Sam, to tell her boyfriend to knock it off because he's yada, yada, yada. And this is how the group connects. The skull killer comes out, kills her boyfriend, showing it's not Sam, and then they go on the run. So from here on out, it's them going on the run from these 3 possessed old-time killers from the past. And that's where I think, for me, it loses some of the gusto, because they're old-time killers from the past, yet they can lock them in a room. Later on, they set this plan to lock them in a room, to light them on fire, and to kill them. Obviously, it doesn't work, but if they are beings that were, possessed and brought back from the dead, can they turn into gas? Can they just reappear and appear out of nowhere? I mean, what's the rules here? What's the properties here within the world? Are they stuck behind this door? If you locked them in jail, would they be stuck behind there? If the witch releases the spell, would they disappear? That's why I think I don't. And some people are going to be like, well, just shut up and enjoy it anyway. It's a possessed old-time demon. Just have fun with it. And I don't know, because when they're making plans to destroy it, you got to have some type of rule within the world, even if it's like, yeah, sure, they're possessed, but you can't kill them. But you can lock them in a room, and if they can't get out, if you put them in a metal box, they'll never get out. All right, it's like, it is what it is. But the witch, you show the witch, or they show the witch, and it seems like the witch wants Sam. Yet on the flip side, in the visions, the witch sends these 3 killers to kill Sam. And we know that because he tries to kill Sam here. He tries to kill this guy who has Sam's blood when they set another trap. Yet at the end, we get to the possession moment. And again, that part I did like, and I thought it was cool. But my thing is, if she wants to possess Sam, why did she spend the whole movie, the witch, trying to kill her? And this is a plot hole that can get filled once we see part 2 and 3 and we know what's going on. Some of these scenes I did like, though. How they filmed it with the music and the choreography. Again, some of it I did like, but not having adults here was another weird red flag. It just felt lazy. Not that they didn't want to just write them in. There was nowhere to put them in the story, but it felt like there wasn't room in the time, in the budget. Maybe when they filmed this, they had to deal with COVID restrictions. Not only is there no adults with these kids, but there's no adults just anywhere. There's one scene where characters are running through a hospital and we see like a bunch of patients, but there's no workers around at all. And when we see cops, or we don't even see firefighters or nothing, but when we see cops, we see like one extra cop in the station, and then the one cop just going around all over the place. The world building in the town is real shitty because there's no one else ever there except for maybe in the beginning where they have the ceremony, but that's just a little small element. So they come together, they set a plan to defeat these guys, lock them in a room, blow them up. It doesn't work, so they set another plan to have the girl die, and this is that Final Destination type of ripoff. Have the Sam girl die, and that'll stop the curse, stop the witches, and they'll live. We get a cool kill with, what's her name? Is it Kate? We get this cool kill. I like Kate as a character there. They did throw it off with having her go, oh yeah, we need to just, they're not here for us. We need to just let Sam go and get killed. And then immediately, like 10 minutes later, she's like, no, that's fine. We'll fight we'll risk our lives fighting for Sam. They throw a line of dialogue in there to kind of explain it, like, oh, you were going to sacrifice yourself for us, so I respect you now, so I'll risk my life to help you. It was just dumb. And I think the reason being is they needed maybe another character to have that voice to say, no, get Sam out of here, to kind of lead them down that path. But instead they merged two characters, I felt, into Kate, and it wasn't hitting. And they even address it. Remember half an hour ago when you wanted to murder me? Yeah. Well, I remembered. It was stupid as shit. And this was also stupid where they have the take these pills and you're going to get high, and then these pills and you're going to get low, and these pills and you're going to start to die, and these pills and that'll kill you. And it's just like, bro, what are you doing? Give her a handful of pills, she'll OD, and then you bring her back with the pen, whatever they're going to do. That whole pill eating thing was just rank. This is where when I first watched the movie, this is where the movie turned me into just it gave me absolute hatred, because we get to this, they try to do this theme about poor people, and we'll get there, but the way they do it is so stupid and lazy, it's not even funny, because the character says something that's not in line with what's actually going on. But and the other guy dies real lazy. He's just standing there and he gets chopped in the head. And it felt like, okay, this is the end of the movie. Let's hurry up and just get them killed. Oh, Kate's dead. All right, this guy's dead, and let's move on with it. So now we get to the part where, before we get to the ending reveal, we get to the part where there's so much more I wanted to discuss that I didn't like, I thought was stupid, or whatever. Maybe we can have, depending on how much interest is here for this, I don't know. It's a trilogy event. I would like to point out some more things that I didn't like and loved, but here, and who knows if we'll ever have a chance to do a flaw and all. I'll tell you right now, I got Friday the 13th Part 3. I know it's like a month late, but it's right around the corner. I've just been busy working so much, but it's right around the corner, and this doesn't have a physical release, so I'm not really sure, because it doesn't matter. But I don't know if I'll even want to do one with something like this. Who knows? Maybe if there's a lot of interest, you guys are going to have to let me know. Anyhow, so you get to the point where the boy gets jacked in the head with an axe in a grocery store. The girl, Kate, gets her head sent through a bread slicer. It was cool gore. I liked it. It was a bit goofy, just because of the type of kill they were going for. But I dig it. They try to do something neat and different. The cop goes, oh, yeah, a bunch of junkies, and they're all at fault. And he's like, if you don't tell me the truth of what happened, that's the only story we got. The two kids were junkies and yada, yada, yada. What the fuck are you talking about? One got an axe in the head. The other got sent through a bread slicer. You tell me the cop thinks the girl axed the guy and then the girl put herself through the bread slicer? What the fuck are you talking? The cop should be saying, there's another killer. Either one of you are the killer, or there's a killer out there. Instead, the cop is all like, well, I guess those two junkies did what? Killed each other, killed themselves, got themselves killed. Somebody came in that was dealing drugs and killed them because of drugs. What the fuck are you saying? If you guys can help me piece that together, let me know. If you don't know and you're just speculating, then say that. But let me know if there's because it just looked like they were saying, yeah, they're just junkies, so they're dead. And then she gets all pissy with the actress is good half the times, and half the times you can see like a new, I don't know. It's like a new nervousness for an actor. And the way she bunches her face up and the way she performs certain things. Even the dialogue she's given sucks so bad. Like right here. Yeah, whatever fits the narrative. You are the one with the key. You stupid bitch. You have the information the cop needs to tell the right story. You are the one holding the information back. And she's all mad at the cop. Yeah, it fits the narrative. Well, maybe in reality she's mad at herself. That would actually fit better. But she does it. Her performance blows chunks because she's all like, ugh, at the cop. And it's like, you're the one holding back information. Your information could tell the truth about your friends that are now labeled as junkies because you aren't telling the truth of what happened. That scene, I don't know. I was like, what the fuck are you even getting at? Here's the cop. Do you really want your friends to go down for this? He knows something's up. Just some of the stuff they have in here for this ending was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Anyhow, so I did cringe hardcore at this scene. She's all like, no, I'll see you tonight. And she kisses her girlfriend because the one girl didn't want to be outed. She didn't want to come out to her parents. And I'll give him that. Coming out in the 90s was probably like absolutely different than today. You know what I'm saying? Today it's like expected. People who aren't even gay are saying they're bi just to get a little bit of trend points. You know what I'm saying? Like even in the industry, people are just pretending so they get I don't know, so they fit in the certain circles. But now you got this mom. Look at the mom. She's got the 90s shoulder pads and she's pissed. You know, she got the mom Karen is mad. You're gonna get your ass beat when you get home. Like what the fuck? Bitch, you're almost an adult. You know what I'm saying? When I was 16, 17, I had my own job, paid my own car insurance, my own car. What are you afraid of? Your mom's gonna ground you for a week until you turn 18? Oh well, I don't know. But yeah, so they put that in there. I really don't care, just because one of the writers is writing from their gay, I guess it was a co-writer, their gay experience. And if they want to pop that in there, go for it. You're going to get flack for it, though, just because it's the trend now. Let's say a certain percentage of our community is gay, yet gay representation is now in like 100% of entertainment. If you sit back, all in the movies you watch, videos, so you're gonna have some people come at you. It's just because it's being overdosed right now, and the way it's done is it's done really lazily, like, you know, lazily like. Is that a good way to say that word? So here's where we get the biggest plot hole. She gets the phone call, and it's the girl they called originally to say, hey, how did you beat, because it was a survivor from part 2, the 1978 movie. She called the survivor and she's like, how did you beat it? And the survivor's like, oh, you can't beat it. There's no beating it. And the movie wants you to go, oh my God, there's no beating it. Dun, dun, dun. It's kind of like in Final Destination where they did the same fucking thing. Anyway, when she goes, you can't beat it, the witch is going to keep coming. I know they want the audience to go like this. Oh, dun dun, like you're in trouble. The girl on the phone saw or disrupted the bones, saw the witch, had the visions, same as Sam, and is still alive, currently living. I'm not saying this is a permanent plot hole. I hope they do something when you watch part 2 and they explain how she's still alive, and it's been years. It's been 16 years? She's been alive and living for 16 years. The witch apparently sucks at her job, because what else is there to be afraid of if the other survivor's telling you the witch ain't gonna stop, she's gonna keep coming? But you've been living for 16 years. Who the fuck cares? What is she doing? Is she keeping you up at night? Does she whisper constantly? Is she driving you nuts? Does she annoy you? Is the witch a Karen? Is she driving you fucking... I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is going on here? So I'm hoping part 2 and part 3 kind of fill that plot hole, because if they just show her and she's like, yeah, I get tormented all the time, and it's like... I guess that would suck, but the ending made it seem like, oh my God, you're in mortal danger because the witch is still after you. The person telling you this was in your position 16 years ago and they're fine. So what? We'll have to see what comes out. But this is one of the moments where I did kind of lose respect for the director, whoever put this in the movie, because it wasn't a scene paying homage. It was straight just ripping off The Village, where Adrian Brody was talking with Joaquin Phoenix, Adrian Brody walked away and Joaquin Phoenix was saying something, and he turns around and this happens. But done better. It was done a lot better. It was a more emotional moment, and it kick-started the story in a dynamic way. And I don't know why you would, I don't know. It didn't add nothing to it. I still like the scene. There's no respect because you just ripped off Village, but I loved it in Village, so why wouldn't I love it now? Anyhow, like I said, hopefully someone goes, oh no, but Ronnie, M. Night Shyamalan ripped that off from something else, so it's fine. Everyone's ripping everyone off. It's like, all right, sure. So she shows up and she's like, yo, we, come on. Don't go to Ice Road, you bitch. So she shows up. She shows her girlfriend, her possessed girlfriend, to her brother. And she's like, yo, shit's not over. And then we get an intro into part 2, which is her and her brother at the survivor's house from 78.
I thought there was a way to end it.
And listen.
Now I know. There is no.
Sure, she doesn't look like all put together. She's got clocks all over the place. I'm sure they're going to do something. I'm sure she's tormented. However, how bad can it be if you're mentally there, you're not wounded, you're not, I don't know. How bad can it be? You survived. I'm just too curious to see how they'll pull that off.
July 12th. My sister was dead.
And that's another thing. My sister was dead. This is the sister I think. And this is the girl from Stranger Things. That's such a shame. When I saw her in the trailer, I was like, oh, cool. I hope she's the lead. Maybe she is the lead character. I think that would be cool because we already got a connection with her from Stranger Things. But this is... Yeah, this... I hope it's good. At first, I thought they showed this girl dying in the trailer, and I was kind of pissed because I'm like, come on, why would you do that? But when you look at it again, it looks like he bear hugs her, and then he slices her. Yeah. So it might not be... Actually, I really hope that's not like a throat slice, but they did an edit for the trailer where it's not as much gore. Because now it looks like a throat slice. But why would you kill her in the trailer? Come on now. Anyway, that was 1994. I think like 500 people are going to watch this. 300 will probably love it. 200 will probably be like, nah. I don't know, man. I don't know. I want more horror movies to come out that embraces the fun aspects to the stuff that we're nostalgic for. But some of this stuff is just not hitting, man. Some of it I do give props for. Like I really did like the, and that's something I could relate to greatly, the different communities. That was a running gag when we were growing up, talking about our hometown. When you're driving down Main Street, it'd be like, closed store, open store. I mean, we had a whole mall that was closed. When I was really little, the mall was closed and there was like 2 stores that were open. And it was like a ghost mall. And it was so neat. When I was little, I always used to think like, what was this place like? You know what I'm saying? 10, 20 years ago. Probably 10 years ago. But it was just an old town that had a little bit of growth spurt. And then the economy just crashed. And you had this mall where you can walk in and it's just all closed. It's still open. But there was like 2 stores in the mall. And then a few years later, the whole thing got shut down. And then a flood later came and, took the whole place out. But I like those little bits. I love the nostalgia from the 90s, even though I think it's lazy to utilize stuff from different time periods. This isn't as serious, so I can see why they didn't get real strict with it. I think this little piece here of the Meyer stuff was the most homage that it gets. Just simply having her being a babysitter for like just a scene, just to set up that one of the ghosts is looking for, the Skullface killer is looking for her, the blood, her friend's blood on the shirt. Some of the kills I hear a lot of, and this is one of the last things I'll end on, because this frustrates me a lot, where we get people that talk about being in the horror genre, and they talk about blood, 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 and gore. Blood is not gore. I want to make a t-shirt or something because blood is not gore. Having blood is not gory. You need more to it. It's kind of like a formula. Like this right here isn't gory to me. All right, he gets stabbed in the throat. Let's see. Is it practical effect? Is it cool? Yeah, I dig it. There's probably some CGI there. Like the end of the blade is definitely CGI, and it's just CGI'd in. So, it's kind of cool. But to me, that's not gory. Just having all the blood. So I wouldn't say this is gory, but there is blood, plenty of blood. There's maybe like one or two scenes I think could be on the gore spectrum, but nothing like true gore. Anyway, thoughts and opinions down below. You let me know if I'm just a cynical asshole that is too picky to like anything. Did you love it? I think if I could be honest, even though it didn't win me over, I still put it on like a 7 out of 10 if I'm being fair. It's watchable. It's not trash. It's not Batwoman. All right. Thoughts and opinions below. I'm done talking. It's your turn.